Welcome to the Unscrewed Mind, episode 11. Today we're going to be talking about gratitude. Rusty and I make the case that if you spend less time worried about the things that you don't have and more time being grateful for the things that you do, you're going to have a way better life. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's so tight because, essentially, we've got 20 minutes from now to put a bow on gratitude, which, I hit record. So we've been recording for 16 seconds as of right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So maybe it's a little bit shorter this time. But Rusty, we've taken a week break from podcasting. Didn't put an episode out last week. We want to make sure that we get an episode out this week. And we're doing it on the subject of gratitude. And
I think we took a break last week. What do you mean?
So we just want to call it like a planned vacation?
Yeah.
Because I needed it. I'll be honest.
For sure.
I needed it.
For sure.
For sure.
So today we're going to be talking about gratitude, gratefulness, attitude of gratitude, you can say.
Right. Yep.
This topic to me is such an important topic when it comes to life in general. It's huge when it comes to law of attraction. It's just something that our society doesn't do as a whole. There's a lot of people out there that once you become more grateful for things, you'll start noticing people that are practicing gratefulness, thankfulness, appreciation, acceptance. You'll start noticing people doing those things. And so, I don't know if it was always there and maybe I just wasn't noticing it, but I really feel like that, me making the change has made me able to see it as well. But, just starting to think about the things that you are grateful for really gives you a different perspective on how your life is going, no matter where you're at in, if you've got goals that you're trying to achieve, or if you've got, things that you're striving for, period, just sitting there and seeing what you've already achieved or what you already have is just something that brings you into the moment and makes you feel so much better about the things that are going on. So no matter how bad that day is, it brings you back in, and it's a great thing to start your day with, and it's a great thing to end your day with.
Yep.
And I just, every day, no matter what, I'm writing down, things that I'm grateful for, or saying them out loud to myself, or saying them to myself in the mornings, when I go to bed tonight. When I start meditating, I will do it as well. And it just really brings me into the moment. And, so many of us are living in the past or the future at so many points in time, because you're thinking, well, when I go on this vacation, or do you remember when that was fun? Or do you remember when that was bad? Or I hope that this doesn't happen. But you're not sitting there in the moment saying, I'm so happy and grateful for, whatever it is, your body, your mind, your family, your home, your anything that you have or anything that you want to obtain. You should be thankful for it and grateful for it today, because that's what allows it to come into your life.
Yeah. So let's pause there for a second. How important is gratitude to everything that the law of attraction and the law of vibration stands for? Can you effectively use the law of attraction or the law of vibration without being grateful, or without having that feeling, that present feeling that everything is okay where you're at? Like, can you use it at all, or are you using it the wrong way if you don't start with gratitude?
See, when you say that, I think to myself at first, like, the law of attraction, you're not really using something. I mean, you are using something, but I think that me, myself, and I think that you have gotten caught up in it too, is we start trying to change our life around the law of attraction instead of changing who we are.
Right.
And so I think that it's really about you learning about gratitude and honestly living in gratitude more than is something going to work if you have gratitude, because the law of attraction is going to work if you have gratitude or not. Now, are you going to get what you want in the same way that you could if you were using it? That's something that I really can't answer, but I do
Mm-hmm.
know that you're going to feel 100% better on a daily basis when you start thinking about the things that you're thankful for instead of the things that you don't have in your life. And it
Right.
works the exact same way with individuals. So if you're thinking, if you're married or if you've got a girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, and you're thinking, man, I wish that this person was like this. I wish this person did this. I wish this person did that. But you're not even listing out the things in your head that you love or that you're grateful for about that person. That's when you start seeing things in a different light. You start seeing if you start listing out what you're grateful for about that person, the things that you wish that they would do become way smaller in the grand scheme of things. And it's the same way for your life. Once you start listing the things that you're grateful for, you're like, well, it really doesn't matter as much if those things were to occur that you're trying to manifest, because you're happy in that moment. And because this current moment, is the only moment that we really have, we're not guaranteed anything.
Right.
So I think it's just a change of mindset. And although I think that it's may play a role in manifesting what you want, I don't think that it is. I think it's more of a lesson to learn in life because you're on a journey. And I think it's just an important part of it that a lot of people just don't, see.
Yeah. Yeah. I know prior to 2020, which is, I'm going to point to that as like the year of my awakening. I, I don't know how much time I spent thinking about the things that I have to be grateful for. I think all my time was spent thinking about the things that I would be grateful for if I had them. And I think that was a recipe for a lot of stress and anxiety in my life, a lot of fear, a lot of resentment, probably, and just my overall level of unhappiness with where I was. And, we've talked about how blessed we are as individuals anyway, and how, I mean, if anyone in the world had a reason to be grateful, it was me. So taking time out of my day to ponder the things that I have and should be grateful for has done a lot for just my ability to stay and remain positive. And so if anyone out there is listening and they aren't taking a moment to be present and be grateful, I highly recommend it. And it's going to change your life for the better if you do.
Yeah. And just sitting there going, if you there's something about yourself that you don't like, or if there's something about the situation that you're in right now that you don't like, pulling back in and listing the things that you like about yourself, the things that you're grateful for about yourself or that situation can be it's an anxiety killer is what I like to say. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everything about the law of attraction, just this information, and I struggle to find a word for it because such a spiritual change or awakening inside of you when you
Mm-hmm.
start noticing all of these negative thoughts that occur. And a lot of people might not have these negative thoughts. Maybe I'm just that programmed person that has these, but I think that our society tends to program everyone to feel a certain way about themselves because they're looking at Instagram or all these social media networks that people are getting paid because of the way that they look or the things that they do or the money that they spend and things of that nature. And you start comparing yourself to them, and then you become ungrateful for who you are. And if you were to put, and we've talked about this before, if you were to take that person and you and compare each one of your goals, you would soon find out that that person's goals are not the same as yours. So you being ungrateful or upset about what they're doing or not being them is a flawed concept.
Yeah, that's why there's been this huge push to get people to stop using social media, especially the younger crowd, is just simply because you don't post. No one posts like the hard times or the crappy meals that they're eating or the pictures of them just going to work that day. Everyone just posts the absolute best experience they could ever have, and it's misleading because you elevate these people and you think that they're happy because they have all these things, and if I have all these things, then I'll be happy as well. And when you can't achieve those, that's when, or when you don't achieve those, or when whatever happens and you fall short of that particular goal, then it leads to all those negative feelings that can really, really pull a person down. So, I mean, I think that's why you're seeing a lot of people say, "Hey, stop using this and stop looking up to these people because it's not serving you. You need to focus on yourself."
Yeah. And, it's just like you talking about the social media and people only posting things that are good. And, if you start thinking about yourself from a gratefulness standpoint, then you start pointing out the things that are good about yourself instead of comparing it to those moments that you're seeing. I just think that that's what gratitude does for you the most, is it just brings awareness to your life. And that's something that I for sure was not doing. I was very unhappy overall with the things that were going on in my life prior to this. And it wasn't even, I just don't even understand really the reason why I would act like that. And it just shows that it is something that's programmed into you, and it's less about who you are, and it's more about just how you've been conditioned to think.
Well, and even Bob Proctor talks about too. Once you raise your vibration and you set your sights on that star that's just over the horizon, it's natural. Once you get to that star, from that vantage point, you can see another one. And so even if you're living your life in this high positive vibration and you're awake, once you get to the point where you're, like, let's say, for instance, meditating, like right now, I've gotten to the point where meditating just happens on a daily basis. And that used to be a goal, right? To meditate more. So now that I'm meditating more, now I've set my sights on the next step of the spiritual awakening, whether it's going on a retreat, or whether it's reading more books, or whether it's getting other people to meditate. So you'll achieve something, but it's just, is that the human condition where you just naturally want to, where the needle is either moved on you, or you move the needle just because you feel like that's the thing that you absolutely should do.
Yeah. And being grateful for the small steps that you take makes the big steps easier to get to, because it's just like this podcast for Matt and I both is, when we talk about it, we're so glad that we took the step to start the podcast, and we're doing it, and we're working on our YouTube channel. And it's just something that we're getting to see built. And every time that we complete a podcast or we put up a new YouTube video or we come up with a new idea for the Unscrewed Mind, I feel a sense of accomplishment and a sense of gratefulness. And it's not even something that is big in this moment right now, but we have a vision for it. And so every step that we take, I'm grateful for. And I think that a lot of people, whether it's you're going to school to be a specific in a specific field, lawyer, doctor, all of those steps that you hated along the way, maybe if you were grateful for those steps as they were coming, it wouldn't be quite as bad of experience.
Right.
And it's the same way with jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had a career where I've moved through probably 12 to 15 different jobs inside of one company. And, some of them I didn't like as much as others, but I found enjoyment pretty much the entire way through. And I think that that's something that has helped propel me through this journey is I actually did find enjoyment even when, maybe the situation wasn't perfect for what I was looking for. And I think that that's what helps, people just achieve more. I think that the people that are grateful or find enjoyment in a situation, because gratefulness and enjoyment are kind of tied together, because you're going to get that same kind of feeling inside of you when you're grateful for something or you're enjoying it. I mean, I go for a walk in the woods a lot with my dogs. And when I get out there, it's just like everything just kind of melts away of the day. And I just feel so grateful for that moment and enjoy it. But at the same time, I'm thinking, how do you bring this into everyday life and speaking to people, but it's something that can be done. And there's a lot of people out there that do it. And, I think that I'm becoming one of those people. And I mean, you've seen somebody, Matt, that you're just like, how is this person this excited right now? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they're on their dial is on 15 on a 10-point scale, and they're just like bumping off the walls and stuff. And you're like, what is going on? But
I think the key to life is finding a way to interact with people like that more often, and finding out what makes them tick and leech some of that energy. I talked to a customer this morning at 8:15 a.m. and she was as energetic as you could possibly be as a human being. And she's like that every time. And I told her the last time we talked, and I told her this time, I was like, I'm probably going to call you tomorrow morning just so I can get some of this energy to take with me on the rest of my professional day, because man, she just, it's infectious, and I need some of that for sure.
So main thing, takeaway for everybody that's listening is write down what you're grateful for. Say out loud what you're grateful for. Think of what you're grateful for outside of the box. Don't just say you're thankful for your family and list those and stop. Go to the heart of it. Be thankful for nature, our world is perfect if you want to see it that way, or our world is horrible if you want to see it that way. So just pull yourself into you and think from your viewpoint instead of looking to the outside for a confirmation on something. And then you're going to start seeing that your world on the outside is changing because of your gratefulness on the inside.
Woo.
So
Woo.
Good.
Woo. Did you write that part down?
No.
Become a part of the Unscrewed Mind by following us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Unscrewed Mind. Also, feel free to email Rusty and I. Our address is unscrewedmind@gmail.com. Tell us what you thought of the show, pitch a subject for a future show, or just say hi. And until next time, stay grateful.